Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. This week I have an email from a woman who says, I exchange numbers with men online. They ask to meet and I say I'd love to, but prefer to talk once before deciding. I hope you don't use those exact words because otherwise it sounds like they are under a microscope and you're going to be analyzing the conversation. Of course, that's exactly what you're going to be doing, but you don't want to say that. So a better way to say it would be that you would feel more comfortable talking on the phone first. Okay, moving on. We exchange numbers, they text, and it just dies from there. I normally text them only when they text me. I try not to text too much and want to move to talking once and then meet as soon as possible. I keep them positive and encouraging, but I keep losing them. It happened to 3 men last week and 2 the week before, and so on. Well, your experience is actually normal, believe it or not, and I'll go into that in a minute. These men are 40 to 55 years old. I get confused with more than 3 or 4 at a time, so if I don't hear from them in a week, I just get back online and make more contacts. Exactly. But you should still continue to be online. Continue to keep your profile up and go online until you actually have committed a relationship with someone. So you don't get offline for a week just because 3 or 4 men are talking to you, because as you see, it's very easy to just have those go nowhere. Okay, is it just me, or do the men nowadays expect me to call, text, do they ask me to meet, etc.? Well, if they are doing that, then they're not men, they're boys. Boys expect you to chase, but men know that they have to make the moves. Am I unrealistic to think they should be doing the contacting? No, you're not. Do they see me online and it turns them off? I don't think so. I mean, you're not in an exclusive relationship, so why would it? And if it does, then that's not really the kind of guy you want to meet anyways. I really appreciate your advice. Rock on, lady. Okay, thank you. Well, as I said, your experience is normal, and I've heard this before from many other people, and this, unfortunately, is the state of online dating these days. And there's several factors for this, and I think Tinder started to kill it with the swiping, because people all of a sudden had a lot of choices, and it's been shown that when people have too many choices, that they find it much more difficult to decide. It's called the paradox of choice, and there's actually a book called The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less. And studies have shown that people just can't decide as easily if they have too many choices. Also, people see this as a numbers game, and with the ease of swiping apps, they just swipe, 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 not really thinking about it, especially guys. Some guys, they swipe on everyone, and then they decide if they're going to go on from there. And then there's also fake profiles. You may have remember from a previous podcast where I said that you should Google image the photos if you're not sure. So if a profile looks too good to be true, if the guy is too good looking, if the photo is too professional, and he's acting squirrely, Google image the photos. Every time I've done that, guess what? It was a fake profile. So it could also be that these guys, they're not real, so that's why they're not following through. But as I said, Tinder really did change the game, and BBC historian Lucia actually said that Tinder is killing romance, because people before were focused on true love, finding true love, but now it's more about one-night stands. And with so many profiles, now when you're online, people no longer see you as a person, you're just a profile picture, and people are seen as replaceable and interchangeable. You're not seen as a real person, and also there's just more competition. So the dating game has definitely changed. I actually had an experience where I was emailing with someone, and he was taking very long to get back to me between emails. And so the last time, he took a week to get back to me. So I said, no. And I didn't respond. And then about 2 months later, he pops up again, goes, hey, I'm out of town. I'll be back in town on Sunday. do you want to get together? So I said, well, let's talk first. I'm not just going to get together with you. So we actually texted, and we decided we would get together the following Sunday. And he said he would contact me the Saturday to make sure that Sunday at 3 o'clock would still work. And guess what? Never heard from him again. So this is the type of thing that's happening online. And this guy was from a spiritual website. You would think that someone on a spiritual website would be more mindful, but apparently not. So this is happening to everyone on all types of sites. So don't take it personally. It's just a matter of hanging in there, and when you see that it's not going anywhere, moving on, getting back online, and actually, like this woman is doing, talking to 3 or 4 guys at a time, because back in the day when online dating first started, it was pretty much guaranteed that if you matched up with someone, if you both liked each other, that you would go from texting to talking to meeting. It was pretty much guaranteed you would meet the person that you wanted to. That was in the good old days, but nowadays, no. The chance of meeting, the likelihood of meeting is actually a lot less than it used to be. And I don't know what the solution to this is going to be, but I really think that apps need to start adding like a rating system in. OkCupid has something like that already, where it shows how likely it is that the person is going to respond to you. And that's good, but I think it needs to go further. So it needs to show, well, you can rate the person, like if they ghosted you, if they stood you up, etc., etc. And I think if that were to happen, then people would be more likely to be on their best behavior if they knew that people were going to be seeing what their behavior was. So if I know that people are going to know that I've ghosted a bunch of people and that I canceled a bunch of dates, etc., then obviously I'm going to be more likely to not do that, or at least to explain what I'm doing so that they don't give me a negative rating. So if you have any questions or comments about this, you want to know about online dating, what you need to do with your situation, you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net, where I'm also available for private coaching. If you're listening to this on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please subscribe. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.